Did you know that from the moment someone starts planning a crime, their life is destined to be spent in jail? If they go ahead and commit the crime, then prison becomes inevitable. Today's story is about a similar incident that raised questions about law and order, as well as the police's actions. But despite the challenges, the way the police handled the case earned them praise. Hello friends, how are you doing today? We're going to talk about the Priya Mehra case, which started in Delhi in 2017. The Mehra family lived in Sector 15, Rohini, Delhi. The family consisted of the husband, Pankaj Mehra, his wife, Priya Mehra, and their 1.5-year-old son. On the morning of October 25, 2017, a Wednesday, they were returning home from Bangla Sahib Gurdwara, a famous Sikh temple in Delhi. They owned a Maruti car, and Pankaj was driving while Priya sat next to him with their child in her arms. Both mother and son had fallen asleep. It was around 4 a.m., and although it was dark, streetlights illuminated the road. The streets were almost empty, and the family was nearing their home. Near the Hyderpur metro station, just before Rohini Tihar jail, they needed to take a U-turn. While Pankaj was slowing down to make the turn, a swift car with Haryana license plates suddenly cut in front of them and stopped. A large, angry man got out of the car, holding a pistol. He approached Pankaj's car and tried to open the door on the driver's side. Seeing this, Pankaj got scared and locked the door. But the man forcefully tried to break the window with the pistol. With a single strike, the window shattered. The man then pointed the gun at Pankaj's forehead. At this moment, Priya woke up, and their son began to cry due to the noise. Priya saw the gun and became terrified. Pankaj, in an attempt to defend himself, grabbed the pistol, leading to a scuffle. During the struggle, the man fired a shot, hitting Priya in the neck. He fired again, and this shot struck her in the forehead near her eye. He tried to shoot once more, but the gun jammed. After this, the assailant punched Pankaj in the face and head, injuring him. Fearing for his life, Pankaj let go of the gun, and the attacker quickly fled. The entire incident lasted barely 1 to 2 minutes. Priya fell unconscious, and the child continued to cry. Pankaj immediately rushed to a nearby hospital, calling the police on the way to inform them of the attack. The family reached Saroj Hospital, and Pankaj also informed his family and Priya's relatives. Despite the urgent situation, Priya was not immediately attended to at the hospital. The family was upset, claiming that the doctors refused to treat her until the police arrived. Even after the police came, they claimed it took a long time for the doctors to start the treatment. When Priya was finally checked, the doctors declared her dead. The family was furious, accusing both the hospital and the police of negligence. News media was called in, and soon the story spread across Delhi and nearby states. During the investigation, the police questioned Pankaj about the incident and whether he had any enemies. Pankaj was a businessman and owned 2 restaurants, one in Paharganj and another in GTB Nagar. Initially, both businesses were doing well, but over time, they began to make losses. Eventually, Pankaj had to take out loans to revive them. A few years ago, Pankaj took a loan from some financiers in Haryana Sonipat, with interest. At first, everything was manageable, but over time, the interest on the loan grew to a whopping lakh. The moneylenders began to demand their money back, but Pankaj's business was struggling, and despite the large loan, he wasn't able to make any progress. Things seemed fine for a short while, but soon, heavy losses started occurring again. The financiers started threatening and intimidating Pankaj, demanding the repayment of the money along with interest, or else the consequences would be severe. Pankaj kept assuring them that he would repay them slowly, so they need not worry. During this time, Pankaj suspected that the people from whom he borrowed the money might be behind a certain incident. A few days before the event, a few men had visited his house in Delhi when Pankaj wasn't home. Only his wife, Priya, and other family members were present. These men had threatened them, saying that they wanted the money back, or there would be serious consequences. On the morning of October 25, 2017, the incident took place. Pankaj informed the police about the 3 individuals from whom he had borrowed the money and who had threatened him. These individuals lived in Sonipat, Haryana, and the car of one of the attackers was registered in Haryana. Within hours after the incident, Pankaj informed the police that these people had come to kill him, but during a scuffle over the gun, a shot was fired that hit Priya. 2 bullets struck her, but luckily, the 3rd bullet got jammed in the gun. Otherwise, The bullet might have hit Pankaj instead. Pankaj explained this to the media. Meanwhile, the financiers learned about the incident through the media. They also learned that Priya, the wife of the man who owed them money, had been killed, and they were being blamed for the murder. Immediately, the three financiers went underground. The Delhi police formed a team and began a large-scale operation to track them down, with raids conducted in Haryana, Sonipat, and several other areas. Pankaj spent the day at the hospital, dealing with his wife's funeral arrangements. Priya's last rites were performed on that day. While the police were searching for the financiers, they started to question the nature of the loan arrangement. If someone lends money to another, they usually wouldn't want to harm them, as it would make it impossible to recover the loan, and they would end up in jail. This led the police to believe that the financiers were not behind the murder. They considered the possibility that Pankaj might have misunderstood the situation and that the attackers had come for some other reason. At around 4 a.m., when the area was quiet and deserted, the police began investigating a different angle, considering the possibility of a robbery. They learned that Priya had been found wearing jewelry, and her purse and phone were still in the car. The police speculated that Pankaj may have resisted the robbery, leading to a confrontation. However, investigations also began to focus on Pankaj himself. While multiple teams were searching for the financiers, the police also started questioning Pankaj. They interviewed people close to him to understand the nature of his relationship with Priya. According to Priya's uncle, Pankaj and Priya had known each other since their college days. They had met there and later married. Before having their son, they had twin daughters, who tragically passed away after birth. Some relatives mentioned that the couple had been having some issues and disagreements in recent times. However, others explained that such disagreements were normal in marriages, and it didn't seem unusual. Despite occasional fights, they were always seen together whenever they went out. During family functions, they remained together, ensuring that outsiders did not realize any issues between them, despite having a history of love. The police, initially unable to gather significant leads, were unable to find substantial clues related to this angle. A team was sent to the crime scene to investigate further, hoping that someone might have witnessed the event. Some people claimed to have heard gunshots and a man screaming, but couldn't identify any criminals. No one saw anything directly, which led the police to consider reviewing CCTV footage. After gathering footage from every camera in the area, the police began reviewing it based on the timeline of the incident around 4 a.m. on October 25th. To their surprise, none of the cameras were positioned to capture the crime scene, and the footage didn't provide any useful evidence. As news spread in Delhi about the ongoing crime issues and the lack of action from the police, public concerns grew. Pankaj, who had already shared all the information he knew with the police, was left with no further knowledge of the situation. To further understand the crime, the police decided to recreate the events. By the evening of October 25th, Pankaj was contacted by the police, who were investigating his movements, especially those between various locations. They noted his speed, where he stopped, and any other minor details. Pankaj had passed by several locations, including near the Hyderpur metro station. After thorough analysis, the police tried to pinpoint any other potential leads. At this stage, the police expanded their investigation to include Pankaj's call records and interactions with people who visited his home. They focused their attention on him without alerting him to their investigation. Through this investigation, it was revealed that Pankaj was on his second marriage, having divorced his first wife, Aisha, after a troubled relationship. He later married Priya, whom he had met during college. The report suggested that Pankaj had even left his first wife for Priya. The police further inquired about Pankaj's relationship with Priya, and Priya's family revealed that Pankaj spent most of his time at his restaurant and often stayed out late, which led Priya to suspect an affair. Pankaj's first wife, Aisha, was still in contact with him, and the police also found out that Pankaj had been involved with a female singer working at his restaurant. This added to Priya's suspicions. The investigation took a turn when an officer, while reviewing the crime scene, noticed a CCTV camera from a distant medical store that had initially been overlooked. After retrieving the footage, it was discovered that Pankaj's car, a Maruti, had stopped at the crime scene location for about 1 minute and 40 seconds around the time of the incident. However, the camera angle and resolution were poor, making it hard to capture clear images of the event. The police reviewed the footage in detail, including moments before and after the incident, confirming Pankaj's involvement. The police then summoned Pankaj to the station on October 26. Upon being shown the footage, Pankaj admitted to killing his wife, Priya. He explained that after a dinner and drive with his wife and child, during which Priya had fallen asleep, he shot her in the car while they were at a U-turn. He fired 2 shots, one to her neck and the other near her eye, before driving on to let her death occur. Despite efforts to take her to the hospital, she succumbed to her injuries due to a delayed treatment. Pankaj explained that his business had failed, resulting in a significant financial loss. He had taken loans from creditors, who began threatening him for repayment. In the midst of this, his affair with the singer at his restaurant began, leading to further tensions. Priya had unknowingly encouraged him to hire the singer, only for her husband to develop an illicit relationship with her. Some relatives believed that Pankaj was trying to reconcile with his first wife, Aisha, further complicating the situation. Thus, Pankaj's actions were driven by financial strain, personal relationships, and a failed marriage, leading to the tragic incident. Pankaj had also developed close ties with 2 other girls, his first wife and a singer who worked in a restaurant. Though Pankaj could have divorced his wife, he didn't want to because his family had given him a significant financial aid. If he divorced, he would have to return the money to her family. After giving it some thought, he realized that if Priya were out of the picture, he would be free to meet anyone he wanted without any restrictions. Since the money lenders were also threatening to kill him, he figured that he could pin the blame of Priya's murder on them. His whole family knew they were making threats, and everyone would believe that the money lenders were responsible. Moreover, Priya's family wouldn't have to return the money they owed. So, in a single move, he could eliminate his wife, save his family from paying the money back, and trap the money lenders, avoiding any financial obligations. With all this in mind, Pankaj planned the murder meticulously. He contacted a friend named Mono, who provided him with a pistol for the job. Pankaj surveyed several places around Delhi, looking for a location without cameras or any recording devices. He found the perfect spot near Hyderpur metro station, a U-turn road that he and his family frequently used. He carefully timed the murder, knowing that they would be on this road at that time since they regularly visited a Gurudwara during these hours. With everything planned, the police were able to arrest Pankaj within a day and a half of the incident. Pankaj was presented in court, and judicial custody was granted. The authorities began collecting evidence, focusing on the pistol used in the murder. However, Pankaj had thrown the weapon away on his way, and the police couldn't locate it. To track down the involved individuals and gather more evidence, 11 police teams were formed. One of the teams went to Sonapat, where they arrested Mono, who had given Pankaj the pistol. The girl working at the restaurant was also summoned to court. She and Pankaj had been in love and wanted to marry, but she had no idea about Pankaj's intentions to kill his wife. She had no involvement in the crime. Priya's 6-year-old son was adopted by Priya's brother and sister-in-law, who promised to take care of him. Some reports also suggest that Pankaj had affairs with other women, including his first wife and the singer. Priya's family has demanded that Pankaj be sentenced to death for his crime. The case is still ongoing in the session court. That's where the story ends. Please let us know in the comments what you think about this case. Like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for updates. Thank you.